Hello YouTube, and welcome back to W140 Restorations. In this episode of Project Heidi, we see that she's got more secrets to share. Come along as we start working on the trunk area of this SL500. So, being honest with you all, this episode did not start how I thought it would. I was taking apart the trunk space to put the grommet in for the antenna in Heidi, and when I started getting into it, I took out the old Alpine CD player that looked like, I don't know if it works or not, it looked rough just from the exterior, and then started looking at the whole trunk compartment, and that's when I found the rust. I had found some rust doing a quick look at the back of Heidi, and I did the same sort of quick rust repair, got all the rust off, kind of scraped it off camera, and then put down some oxidizer, rust converter, black, and not really the best paint job in the world, but where my trim line is going to be covered up not by the gasket, but by the black vanity cover that goes here. There's 6 of these rectangular body clips that go in that I got cleaned up. So when we get done basically doing a quick shot coat of rust converter in the trunk pan here, we're going to pull out the hydraulic pump for the top. We're going to do the rust converter, put that back in, and then start working backwards on this episode to make sure we got the trunk compartment all ready to go. Install the gasket for the antenna, and then clean up the taillights and reinstall the taillights so the back of Heidi's good, so I can really start doing a long test drive. I got the front put together, so now it's time to work on the back. So first things first, we're going to pull this pump out of here, and then we're going to spray this really quick with some rust converter. Three 10mm nuts, and this should lift out. That one does not want to come out. That's going to make it fun. Alright, when there's a will, there's a way. So that's out. We're going to move it out of the way and make sure we don't crimp anything. These are hydraulic lines and electrical lines. Top tip, if you haven't seen the other episodes, using a little bit of isopropyl to clean up all the rust to make sure that the new paint's going to adhere. All right, looking pretty good. And like I said, just rust preventer and rust converter. And I'm gonna leave it like that because no one's ever gonna be back in here and no one's ever gonna see this except for me. And because it's hidden under all sorts of different things, that's gonna be good enough. So let's go ahead and start masking this off and grab my rust preventer and rust converter. Alright, back after the paint's dried and it's day 2. We're going to put our hydraulic pump back and make sure that it aligns. And our holes, the electronics and the hydraulic lines are good. Out of the way and put our nuts back on. These are Nylock factory nuts. What are they? What, 8mm? Get them put back on. Just like that. One, two, and 3. And then our cover for our hydraulic lines, which sits on top of our cord and lines. And then all that is covered by this plastic piece, which has 3 of these plastic nut washer combos. We're going to put those on next. Nice and snug. They're plastic. Alright, next would be the spare tire, but I'm not going to put it on because it's a not matching rim and I need to try to find an original to put back in Heidi. So let's go to the Vanity Covers next. Okay, next is our spare tire cover. And between the aluminum and the steel, slide these 3 tabs. We're gonna get those in there. And I cleaned it off camera, but there's these little nubs all over the top of here. And that holds the black piece of carpet from sliding around. But before we put that down, I have to clean the taillights out. I wanna make sure the taillights are cleaned up before I put them in. And then I'm gonna do the surrounding vanity covers and all the different cloth that goes around the backside of the compartment here. So let's go ahead and start working on the taillights. Okay, Heidi's a 1996 R129. So the taillights are in 3 parts. The first part is the inner vanity cover that surrounds the inside of the taillight, and to open them there is a little latch here. You pull the latch and then open. There's a set of hinges that are on the inside vanity cover that attach it to the inside of the light housing, and I'll show you that. There's these 2 tabs here that fit on these 2 tabs right here, and that kind of hinges open in the back of the car so you can change the light bulbs and then hinge it back and close. So when I put them on Heidi, you'll see there's this kind of like opening and closing like clamshell type of mechanism. But we're gonna clean this up, but more importantly, as we work on Heidi, we want to clean the inside, the lights up to make sure they're up to par. So there are 6 of these little nuts that hold the inside and the outside together, and there's a kind of a pinch as they fit in the rear of R129. It sandwiches the inner assembly from the outer assembly with the gasket. Oh, there goes one. And there's 2 tabs here that hold them together. So you want to squeeze those tabs and pull off at the same side. So we're going to clean up this inner chrome piece, but it's held to the car by these 6 nuts and this gasket, and it sandwiches it between the rear of the car. So we're going to clean these out, clean up this gasket, and then put them back on Heidi. So let's pull this gasket off, and there's a ridge that it sets in right here. It sits underneath it all the way around. And you can see that as I pull it off here. It just sits inside there. So there's the hardware and the gasket, and then this is the driver's side assembly. And then clean it up. And put a little polish on it too. Do the same thing with the passenger side. All right, I want to point out part of this. If you got a R129, you probably know this, but this little notch right here loves to collect dust and dirt and just junk, and it's a nice way for all that to eventually turn into rust. So if you got one, you might want to check it to make sure this is cleaned out. The gasket sits inside this when it's smooshed up and pinched together in the rear of the car. So this should be a drain point, but if that gets clogged up, it can also rust out the beginning of your trunk lid. So if you have one of these, you might want to pop the trunk and take a look and see if this is cleaned out. I'm going to grab a brush and make sure it's cleaned out more. Something that when I got my 94, it was loaded full of sand and silt and just junk. So something to look out here on Project Heidi. So I'll get that cleaned out with the brush here in a second. All right, not too bad. After a quick rub down, I don't see any cracks, at least none that are going to impact the operation of the taillights. So and they appear to be still sealed in one piece, which is nice for the driver's side. The passenger side, not so much. I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, I got the gasket all cleaned up. There appear to be no tears or rips in it. It's still kind of supple, so we're going to go ahead and reuse it since we've got it all cleaned off, and I'll show you how it goes on. You can see the general outline of the taillight and how it wraps around here to the point that corresponds right here. So laying our headlight down and working backwards, it fits inside this big, thick 1/4 inch groove. It just follows the light around. And this goes on from the outside of the SL, and then sandwiches, and we'll go ahead and do the passenger side as well here in a second, and put them both on. Just a bit of a hand polish while I've got the taillights out, where the gasket is going to touch the paint to make sure that it's all clean and all protected, and nothing's going to get in there, nothing's going to cause any rust. You want to just do a really quick once over with some polish to make sure that it's good to go. Right. And grab the taillight assembly. It's the inner chrome piece, and the outer just sits on there freely. It just rides on there. There's nothing holding it on the car except for the inside chrome piece, which snaps into place. And then we're going to tighten down those washers, little nuts. And it should snap. There it is. Snap into place. That's it. On the inside, you can see where the tabs have engaged right here, and then right here as well. And then we're going to grab our nuts and tighten all of these. And we're going to take our 8mm socket and really just kind of hand tighten these. No reason to real crank down on them. All they're doing is literally sandwiching the two halves together in the back of the car to hold the taillight assembly on. I keep saying headlight, and I don't know why. I'm in the back of the car, I'm looking at the taillights, and I keep saying headlight. Anyway, it's the only thing that holds the taillight assemblies on are these 6 8mm nuts. And I'm sure the Germans have a torque spec for them. I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to hand tighten them. And making sure they're all tight. And then it's really a rinse and repeat for the passenger side. All right. Okay, and these two tabs right here are what clip in our taillight assembly. And we're going to swing it around. And it is in. All right, that's how it goes. All right, you can hear the fuel pump priming. I see I've got tail light, I've got corner marker, I have turn signal, and I've got, looks like brake lights. Hard to tell from here, but looks like I got brake lights. All right, and with the cracked one on the passenger side, order another one of those. Okay, everybody, what appears to be day 3, but it's really weeks forward on Project Heidi. You can see I've taken the passenger side taillight out. She's all polished up, she looks great, but I couldn't deal with the cracks. So through the power of the internet, via eBay, I have purchased and sourced a recycled one. This one doesn't have any cracks in it. We're gonna go ahead and get it cleaned up, polish the plastic, and put it back in. Off camera, a lot more work on Heidi, but the focus this point is making sure we get the lights all put in her and flashy and working. Here goes. All right, she is gorgeous and all the plastic polished up, ready to go, and put her back on the passenger side of Heidi. So let's get to it. Okay, I've got the rear cover over the gasket, and here's why I was showing you all earlier that it really didn't matter that there was overspray or not when I was taking care of the rusty area right here, because once this sets over the gasket and you put these body clips in, you cannot see at all anything that's happening below here. So that's why it really didn't matter about the overspray. But when you put this panel piece in, there's 6 of these rectangular clips that go in, and then we'll start working on the one that goes in the front and then the sides. Okay, off camera I used some carpet shampoo and cleaned up the back panel best I could. There are 4 plastic 2-piece body panel clips that go equidistant across the top. And before I do the side piece, I need to install this. Part number is 129-827-0398. There are 2 pieces to the antenna gasket that sits on an R129. This is the internal piece, and I'm going to take it out of here and show you how it goes on. And I have to do that before I put the driver's side, I guess, trunk vanity piece on. So that's one of the things I've taken the antenna off, because this internal piece pulls up through here. Then there's an external cap that sits on it, and it's a 2-piece that gets squished against the body. So let's go ahead and take this out and put it on. That's what it looks like. And there's the antenna seal installed on Heidi. You can see that one's on, but there's one more piece to go. And that's probably going to be the wrap-up piece, honestly, for this episode. The outside antenna seal is 129-827-0298. And that's this little booger right here. You can see the seal clips right over and slides right over and snaps on. And that is the antenna seal, both inside and outside. And with that, I want to show you all the interior of the trunk. Off camera, used some carpet cleaner and brushes and vacuum and cleaned up all the rear of Heidi. We've got the rear fuse box cover installed, and over here we got the original first aid kit cleaned up and installed. And all these wires down here are leftover wires from the Alpine CD player that was installed down there. I don't know a lot about 90s CDs players, so I took it out. The wires remain. I don't want to cut anything in case I need them in the future. Got the rear trim panel installed. Got the little dome light installed, the cover installed here as well. I happen to be missing one thing for this car, and actually it's two things. I'm missing the cover for the inside of the battery. There's another small tray that goes here, and if you'll see, the carpet is actually black. This is the inner liner of the carpet that goes in an R129. There should be a color matched carpet that goes over this. If anybody knows or has some of these parts, please reach out to me, hit me up on the channel. I do follow the comments and read what people post on the W140 Restoration channel. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please like the channel, please subscribe. Coming up, a lot of work, a lot of parts that I've been waiting for, and this video is made over the holidays, so a lot of family and work events that have made it near impossible to make as timely videos as I want to in the near future. A bunch that I've already recorded, a bunch that I'm editing, and a bunch that are coming up. So thanks everybody for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next episode for Project Heidi.